Welcome. If you are an organization that deals with people's information, uh, organizations like that may include churches, worship centers, churches, mosques, or even groups within those churches, for instance, a youth group or any kind of group that is within that church. If you are a circle or any kind of group that is related to saving and all those things, this system was built with you in mind. And what we have here and what we are going to go through is just basics of the basic pages and interfaces you can see on the system. Then in coming tutorials, we shall go into the details of each. So what we have here is the login page. And you can log in with your credentials. If you don't have any, you can create an account by clicking on that link and coming to this page. Then you create an account. We shall see that. If you, for instance, have an account but have forgotten your password, you can reset your password by providing your username. We shall also see that. The other thing you can do from this page is you can contact the company IONA that is responsible for this system, and you can send them a message. We shall also see how that happens. This simply encourages you to always reach out to IONA because it is important. IONA values your feedback. So let's look at some other pages which require you to be logged in. I have a sample user that has an account already. And if I supply the credentials, I come to the dashboard. So what we see on the dashboard, basically the details in summary of the system. One of the things we see is time, in real time, the current time now, the date today, and then we can get to know about the system by going to this page and we read through that. Or we can make requests here. We shall go into the details of that. We can make requests here. The other thing we see, we have a settings button here. We shall also see that. And then we have the user info, the person who is logged in currently, their profile pic and their username. And we are going to go into this page. But first, you who is logged in, you can see your profile by clicking on that button. It's minimal for now because that's all the information there is about a user. The other thing you can do is log out if you don't have anything to do. However, we see a pie chart here. The first part here is system stats, and this is a summary on a pie chart of these four cards up here: the users, the members, the families associated with these members, and then the requests which have been made through this make request button. And then if we go to the employment stats, the employment stats is again a summary of these six cards here: the students, part-time employees, full-time employees, contract employees, self-employed, and then those who are unemployed. If we come to the marital status stats, again we see the summary of these four cards up here. We see the married, the unmarried or single, and then the divorced and the widowed. So basically, that's the kind of information you can see on the dashboard. Then, if you go to manage members, here, this is where most of the things really are. One of the things you see here is that, again, you see the time. You see this backward and forward arrows. We are going to look at them. But one of the things you can see is you can search. For instance, if I search members with J, or I see every name that has a J or in it. Or if it's MA, I see every name with MA. So basically, that is search. I can clear my search and I go back to every member in the system. The other thing you notice here is these three buttons here are grayed out because they require you to have a selected member. So if I select a member, I can see them. However, one of the things I can do is I can decide to go and add a member. If I add a member, I can enter their personal information here, can add their relations information, I can select whether their parent type is biological. We shall see that. Then I can also enter their employment information. I can go back directly to the dashboard or log out, but I want to go to the Manage Members page. And there I am. So the other thing I can do is, if I select a member, I can edit, delete, and member profile. Let me check out the member profile. I can view the member profile, and again, I can edit the profile from here, or I can go forward, or I can go backward. So the other thing we see on this page is exporting your data to Excel and then exporting it as a database file, in particular a SQL file. And this is what happens here. Or I can decide to log out. Let me just show what happens if I press the forward button here. This forward button is supposed to take you to this first button here of add member, and that is exactly what we get here. Again, you can add a new member to this system. So basically, that is what the system does. If I log out, I go back to the login page. That is what the system does, and we are going to go through the details. But remember, iONA has made this system with you in mind. If you are an organization that deals with member or people information, this is a system that is made for you. Thank you very much. We shall go into the details of each page. Have a good day.